Welcome, everybody, to what is potentially a very different show today. Um,
Mm.
this is a show we haven't been looking forward to doing, Speed, unfortunately, is it?
I mean, it's the show that's sort of been put on the back burner for a bit. It's sort of a mixture
It
of a lot
has
of
been.
things. So, I mean, initially we had, our time off over Christmas and New Year's, sort of a reset, so to speak. And then we were due to come back, and it just happened to coincide with back to school, which that's on me. That was my bad. I had lost track of time,
Um,
and it was my eldest's first day of high school, and I promised I'd be there. So that happened, and then
Overcommit and underdeliver, mate. I love it.
the show that was
Welcome to the
supposed to be after
SideNote.
that, we had just
Connection issues,
technical
and it just
issues,
wasn't
just trying to connect to Glimesh, and then here we are. Eventually,
and
what,
now,
like nine
here we
weeks later,
are
we're finally
with,
here.
for our, second show of the year or something. And you with a brand new GPU, by the way. How is that going?
Yes, GPU's doing great. So it was interesting because uh, we would have originally spoken about me not being able to get my GPU yet. So that would have been on the cards. So I did end up getting the AMD RX 7900 XTX. I did end up getting that. So it's a lot sleeker on the inside now with just one card, not two in there. And everything seems to be going graphically. Everything's going fine. Uh,
It's just
so,
everything else that's not so good, eh?
yeah, software wise,
Software wise.
it's almost like Windows is out to get me or something. Like every bit of software has just had major issues, whether it's apps or games, just huge problems. Nothing to do with my
Yeah, right.
GPU at all, which is just ridiculous because I
It
would
just
have
it
expected
just
at least
coincides with
something.
it being there.
It's just so coincidental that as soon as I put my new GPU in, it's like everything goes to shit. But but it's going well.
Anyway, well, let's get down to business. So, um, yo, welcome on in, Don. Glad to see you here. Um, Sadly, today's not an upbeat stream today. We normally cover some technical issues and things like that are going on, but today we are announcing that we are terminating from Glimesh effective as of today, and we're going to be putting a lot of focus towards our YouTube. We feel amongst ourselves and around what we've been seeing that YouTube's probably the best thing for us right now to focus on and just keep a little bit more of a generic line over that way. So you'll see the YouTube there in chat. If you guys haven't already hit the subscribe and the notification bell, please do those things. As we transition over there, we'll have a few teething issues as we get things sorted, but trust us, we will get onto that and get that sorted out pretty quickly. We are in
Because
Gilded as well, so the link
yes,
is in there. So please feel free to join that
we
as well.
we will eventually move over to Gilded full time. Eventually,
Yes,
we're sort of
that is in
we're
the
sort of
works, but we're just
midway between
phasing
the two at
Discord
the
out.
moment. Yeah.
Phasing
Um,
Discord out. So again, if you guys have got Gilded and want to come and join us on that and jump in the chat in any one of the shows that we do, please feel free to do so. Love to hear from you guys, and that's going to be a big push when we move to YouTube. Is trying to get the extra input from you guys. You know, the community and just in general, just pushing through and learning
and
what's happening for you guys.
that's like that was sort of like the main reason why we started doing this on college. We wanted to do a podcast, but we wanted to do a live podcast because we wanted that interactivity. We wanted to get you guys involved, and so you could jump in, and it was great. Like it was working every now and then, but you know,
Every
we
now and then, yeah,
can't.
right.
When people wanted to interact, because you're not going to get everyone interacting. Like we understand that there are going to be a lot of people out there who just don't want to. They have ideas, they have uh, things they want to say about certain things, but they don't want to be that person. They don't want to be on the front
Yeah,
line
yeah, yeah.
of making those comments, which is like it's fair. Like we don't force anyone to join. But we've also noticed. I mean, even on our when we were streaming ourselves, there's been quite a decline uh, in the numbers themselves. So we're getting the regular people in, which was fine. But we were losing that interactivity because we'd essentially have the same people come on like
And
all the
basically
time.
talking the same stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, we're,
yeah.
we're sort of going in a roundabout fashion. So um,
It's just a
yeah,
shift. It's nothing's going to change ultimately. We're just changing the platform. That's all.
yeah.
So Glimesh
It,
won't
it also
be our main.
uh, yeah, it also helps sort of streamline the process a little bit. Because
Yeah,
I do record it here, I do cut it down, add a few things here and there,
and
and
then
then
upload it.
upload it to YouTube, which I don't mind doing. I don't mind doing it now that I've got a new GPU that actually utilizes DaVinci Resolve. Uh, Earlier, it used my CPU and it was a little bit time consuming. So just to sort of streamline that process a little bit. So whatever the stream is, that's what you'll be able to view on the YouTube, and there's no like waiting for it to upload. It's already there.
It'll be there
So
instantly. Yeah, that's right.
so if you miss it, it's there. Like you don't have to wait
Yeah.
for a few hours after the show. So that'd be
So that's the thing. We're moving away from Glimesh, and it is a sad day because we have been like using this to get the feedback from you guys, the community, and also I know that the admins and stuff for Glimesh have been sort of watching and listening, and whether they take anything on board or not, that's totally up to them. But yeah, it's been good while we've had it, and we've had some special guests on the show, and understanding from you guys that how you guys are feeling, and understanding what's going on for you guys individually, which has been fantastic. Um, but yeah, I think our time has just come where we need to just streamline it and focus a little bit more on making it easier for us throughout the day. So
yeah. Well,
it is a sad day for side note, but unfortunately, I mean these things happen, and it's just we got to look at what's best for the show going forward.
yeah, and there's no point sort of riding this into the ground, and just continuing its path. We don't want Side Note to die. I mean, we actually enjoy we enjoy doing this. Uh,
Yeah, we do actually. It's been fun.
so yeah, so yeah, we want to try and keep it alive. YouTube might be a new avenue for us to, expand and grow in a way that we didn't think was possible. Uh, Twitch was never an answer.
That was never an option.
No, it was
Restream isn't an option, unfortunately.
no. Restreaming also wasn't an option because as much as we could do restreaming, it sort of defeated the purpose of the show, kind of thing. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah,
It didn't sit right with how the show operated and how it worked. So we wanted by keeping something in one place, uh, it just sort of made sense. So and now moving everything over to YouTube, it should alleviate a lot of the okay, so we're streaming on one platform and then we're uploading it on that platform. So yeah, it'll help out.
but as we said, it's nothing more than just a change of platform. So the channels are still there. We're still going to be doing the same thing. You're still going to keep up with us. We've still got Guild and Discord there. So if you do want to jump into those and come and join us at some point, please feel free to hit us up, send us a DM, all that kind of stuff. But
And
yeah,
the
so
the other
that's
thing, just regarding the show, we never wanted it to be a recorded process. So that
no.
was that was one thing we agreed on from the start. We didn't like yes, we could pre-record shows and just backlog them and just have shows on hand. Like we could just upload them regularly. Like we could do that. But we wanted that interactivity. You know, we wanted to be able to chat with you guys. You know, in real time. We wanted, you know, if you jumped in chat
But not only
and
that, it was for the special guests too, because they could see the questions, they could
yeah,
answer it live. You know, it wasn't a
well, that's
case of
it.
oh pre-recording, type it in chat, come back to it a week later, check it out. It was a
Yeah,
flow effect. It was more of a
yeah. It was
natural effect.
it was a discuss it then and there sort of thing.
Exactly right.
You know, so if someone popped into chat and you know they wanted to add their 2 cents to whatever it is that we were talking about, they could do that. They could do it in chat, and we could, you know, integrate that into the discussion. Like that was the whole point. Uh,
Yeah,
so
open discussion, open floor,
yeah.
pretty much. That's what it was all about. Yeah.
So with that, side note will never be pre-recorded
Nope.
ever. I mean that's why we end up having like
Platform may change.
weeks. Yeah, that's why we end up having weeks between shows because we refuse to pre-record anything.
And it just keeps with the fact that, life gets in the way sometimes as a streamer, as a content creator, as anything, as an influencer. Life gets in the way. And sometimes
And
you
as a
just you can't
parent,
stop
yeah,
the trickle down the hill, and
yeah,
it just rolls
it,
on. But
yeah. There's always something.
look, something that's been sort of floated around that between Speed and myself, and even when Yakes was on the show, was should we streamline to YouTube? And it just got to that point where we just we're going to pull the pin on it. We're going to jump over there, see how it goes. Not to say we won't be back ever, but maybe if we do come back in a better facet, we might be able to have a better
Guess
a
it
better
depends on
joint
how
thing.
well the
There might be a little
YouTube
bit
life
more
goes.
back and flow, I guess.
Yeah.
Because again, we really wanted to have this set up as a way for, as we said before, the interactivity, especially from the community towards Glimesh, without having to go through all the backwards and forwards. You could just come and join. It's kind of like a bridge, I guess, in some ways, because we have had some really
Yeah.
good feedback, and a lot of it has been passed on. I know some of it has been noted, and I know some hasn't been, but that's not for us to worry about. But it's been a really good bridge in that connection. So
Mm.
I think that's just where it's at. But
Yeah.
sadly, we'll move on to a little bit more of a personal thing.
Mm.
Some of you may have noticed that I've been very quiet on streams, and I've taken a very big hiatus. And that hiatus will continue for a few months yet, where I'll do pop-up streams here and there, but I'm not doing anything major. I've kind of hit that burnout phase, and I think Speed, your tweet this morning really hit it on the head. Um,
Mm.
I had a realization the other day, and it kind of hurt because I went through, like yourself. We've been through the mixer phase, we went through all that kind of stuff, and there just doesn't feel anywhere like home. It just doesn't feel home. Like
Mm.
if you go to Twitch and YouTube for your main content, like I said to you just before the show, it kind of feels like you're moving back in with your parents. You moved out, you wanted to go and explore things, you wanted to see things, and just nothing seems to fit the program right now. So I've lost the fire, I've lost the edge. I don't know if I can find it. I don't know if I'll get it back. I don't know if I will be back on a full time or a more permanent basis. But I just feel like the fire's gone out. I just feel like the stream landscape right now is just really, it needs a spark, it needs an energy, it needs something to just engage and just get it
Yeah.
going. I think it's just lost its edge now. And we're seeing it. Like I was even looking at Kick the other day, and like I was in there was streamers with 1,000 people and only like 5 or 6 chatters, and I'm thinking, I've seen this before. I've seen this
We've
before, and
discussed stuff
I'm
about that before.
almost
Yeah.
tempted to take it. I'm almost directing bot viewers over from a certain site to their site. So I'm not. Look, again, if Kick that is what you're doing, look, kudos to you. I mean, you're making people feel good about them, and that's fine. I'm just not for me. Trovo, I was there. No, thank you. I'd rather not
Yeah.
go back there. So any of my pop-up streams at the moment will just be random, most likely on Twitch because that's my only other channel besides Glimesh. And well, let's just say that's that's seen better days as well. So
That it has.
look, I'm not throwing shade at any platform. I think there's a lot of platforms out there at the moment that just they lack a lot of everything or something, and I just I've just lost the edge
Yeah.
for it now, and I don't know about you, Speed, but I just feel I don't know. I feel like the streaming landscape is kind of going backwards rather than going forwards. I don't feel there's enough
Mm,
innovation to push it forwards rather than that
yeah.
system. So
I mean, like
that's just my
this
view.
is
That's just my
something.
take on it all.
Yeah, this is something I've discussed a lot um, over the last what 6 to 8 months. Right, I've even discussed it on my own streams.
Mm.
You know where everything's sitting, how everything's going. Um, like we've had, we're having like a second explosion at the moment of platforms that are coming out of the blue. Like there's platforms
Yeah,
coming out that I didn't even know existed, and they're all like, "Oh, keep your
arenas
eyes
for
out for
one.
me soon." It's like, who are you? Why are you replying to
Yeah,
my
where did you
tweet?
come from?
um, so like it's interesting because all these platforms came along because of the closure of Mixer. You know, because everyone had that home on Mixer. Like Mixer
Mm.
was home. Like it especially was for me and for you as well. Uh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, 100%.
it was home. We felt like that's where we belonged. And then naturally the rug got pulled out from all of us, and
There's your
we
eviction
all
notice and go and find a
we
new
all
new
fell flat
place
on
to
our
live. Yeah.
face. Um,
Oh, it's
it's
another new
probably
platform. Ah!
it's probably already a thing, Parko.
I was gonna say,
um,
yeah, someone's already probably done it. I mean, it's
but like
crazy now. The amount of
and
things
then
popping up.
we were sort of in this phase where we wanted a home, but we were homeless. So a couple of new names came on the scene, and Glimesh included. That tried to offer that homely experience, and uh, to a degree, it did work, but it also didn't work. You know,
It
it
just
didn't
didn't fill that
feel
space, did it?
it couldn't fill that space. I don't think like a platform would have to try extraordinarily hard to fill that mixer gap. Right. I'm not saying that it's possible, but it's going to
No.
be hard yakka to get to that state. Um, but at least getting most of the way there, and showing that long term stability would be nice. That that would be a nice thing. Um,
I guess people have just lost confidence,
but
haven't they? In a lot of platforms, they as soon as
I
one
mean,
thing kind of
but
shows
like,
its head, everyone's like, "Yep, no, done." They're
I
not.
mean, out of that
It's
first burst
too hard
of
to keep it
platforms,
on.
how many have shut down? Like nearly all of them.
Well,
So
we've seen what, three now?
yeah,
Is it three?
it's hard to
Three
gain
drop off now.
people's confidence in a new platform
Mm.
when so many have popped up and just as many have died off, like in a matter of you know 24 months. Like that's a hard pill to
Yeah,
swallow, like
it's
especially
happened,
when you're looking for somewhere that you want to call home.
and that doesn't instill a lot
And
of confidence either.
no, it doesn't.
That that doesn't when you see these platforms just die off and like they're no name platforms, it doesn't give people a lot of faith that, oh look, there's another new one. Oh, it'll last. They're just like,
Yeah, yeah,
I want to see it do well. Like, I really want to see it thrive and do good things, but it's gonna have to do it without me because I just can't commit and lose a whole bunch more from what I've already lost. So I think
yeah,
there's a confidence factor. I think somehow I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how management do it.
yeah,
I don't know how it works, but something
yeah,
has to be put into play where
yeah.
there's confidence in the
Like
management system that it's going to work.
yeah, and in response to Parker there, he said, "I think any platform that is trying to be the next mixer is doomed to fail." I agree. Platform shouldn't be designed to be the next mixer. It will never be mixer.
No, you
That's it.
can't
Like it will not happen.
create
So
your own DNA.
the companies that are trying to fill the void completely are going to fail. So,
But can we
you know,
just touch on one of Pucko's other comments there about his
yeah.
taco, his stream taco.net? It's all taco cooking streams. I'd rather see pineapple pizza cooking streams.
We're waiting, Bucko.
Poke, poke, Pucko. Calling you out on the show
uh,
now. But
but
no,
like,
I mean, look,
I think there's been a
they've got to
learning
have their own
curve,
DNA.
though. Yeah,
Like, yeah.
but I think there's been a learning curve during the last, you know, couple of years. You know,
Again,
because
touching
there
on
have
his,
been
touching on,
those stream. Sorry, there have been those platforms pop up that have died, and there are platforms that are starting to pop up now that are looking at everything that's happened and looked at Mixer and be like, right, so what's the best bit that we can take out of Mixer, but
yeah.
let's learn from the mistakes that other people have made
I
and
want to,
try and make something that congeals.
before you continue that rant, I want to pull this comment from Paco there. A platform should made because you have an idea, a plan, and a reason. The problem is, it's the reason that they're creating the platform that is the problem. They're not
Yeah,
creating
like
the platform because
it.
they have ideas and they want to have that. The reason they're creating it is because there's a void and they're
There's a
trying to fill
void.
it.
Yeah,
That's
and
the wrong reason. It's like a
that
streamer
ends
saying,
up
"I'm
becoming
going to Glimesh."
yeah. Sorry, it ends up becoming the main pushing focus. Is that
That's right.
reason? That reason is the
Yeah.
void.
So it's like a streamer saying, "I'm going to move to Trovo because I want to be the biggest face over there." That's their reason. It's the wrong reason. No, you're moving to Trovo to experience something new. And I think the problem is the reason has to be a directive of multiple people coming together and saying, "Hey, we could do this. We could offer, this. We could offer this. We could offer this." And get a better direction, create their own DNA. We are seeing a couple of places now, give or take, that are creating their own DNA. They're not looking at anybody else. They're not using anything. They're going off on their own. And that kind of puts a little bit of hope out there. But the problem is, it's
Mm.
still going to be a very hard road to go forward for those guys because they're going to
Yeah,
be small. They're not going to be named. And they're in a window now where Mixer 2 years ago, now they're going to be into the almost third year of Mixer being gone, and now they're going to launch, or they're coming close to
yeah.
launching. So it's a,
Well, I mean, it's
do
and
you
this
know
is
what I mean?
something I've
Like it's
discussed
it's
before.
hard.
It's a twofold problem. So you've got the problem of a new platform coming out. Already, it's going to be tough,
Mhm.
right? So, and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
see bits in there, and you're like, oh yeah, that could be really good. That could fill that gap for me as a streamer. Then the second part
Mm,
is the streamer, because you've got all
that's
those
right.
people who are displaced from Mixer who can't let go, who haven't
Yep.
let go, and they
Yep.
just want another Mixer. They
Hmm.
so you've got this major problem where you've got a new platform that doesn't really know what it's doing, and you've got people who refuse to let go of the past. So
Yep.
they're going to clash, and like
Yeah,
people need to
exactly
let
right.
go and move on. Like I absolutely adored Mixer. I love Mixer to
Hmm.
the the high end, like
Yep.
absolutely 100%.
Yep.
But it's gone. It's
Yeah.
not coming back. Nothing can replace that. It's like the death of a family member.
Nothing will replace it.
It's
It's
like
not. Nothing can. Nothing will replace it
yeah,
ever.
but it's like the death of a family member. You
Yeah.
lose a brother.
Yeah. Exactly
You
right.
know, brother's gone. Brother's not coming back. It's like
Can't
that's that.
replace it.
You can't
Yeah.
replace that person. You could probably find someone that kind of fits the bill a little bit, but they're never going to be that person.
Yeah.
So
And
people
look,
just need to learn
there's a
to
quick.
adapt to whatever's going on. Really,
There's a comment there from Paco. The amount of tweets that he's seeing about people asking to buy a mixer from Microsoft is terrifying. It is terrifying because
no,
a lot of people don't have the management success or knowledge of what is actually required to make this work. I think Mixer had its own DNA and it found something in its structure. Um,
Yeah,
the way it was doing things for the streamer, like every platform, I don't care what platform it is, Glimesh, Trovo, Kick,
yeah,
Twitch, YouTube, they're all saying, "Oh, we're all for the streamer. We're all for the streamer." But at the end of the day, if management doesn't have the right setup, it's never
yeah.
about the streamer. It's always about what the
But
next step is. I
on
just
that
don't
as
think that
well,
people can just worry about it. They got to
yeah,
move to a place and try everything and then see what fits.
yeah. But on that as well, there are a lot of places out there that are giving false promises. Promising these fantastical things from this
Too
platform that are too good to be true that end up being too good to be true.
good
They
to be
can't
true.
they can't put it forward. Yeah, like
Well, I
like a
mean,
90, like, sorry. All right, this is where I'm going to put my foot down because I think I
uh,
think the platform split shouldn't fucking matter, right? I was
shouldn't.
happy with 50
Yeah.
50.
Yep.
I was absolutely happy with 50-50, and I think long term 50-50 definitely would have made more sense uh down the road.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
by bending over backwards and trying to appease everyone who wanted a bigger cut, who hurts out of that? The platform.
Can we just touch on that platform that's in question here right now? 90% split. It's actually 95-5 with Kick. But when you look at what they've got stake behind them, which has now just gone into the F1 business as well. So they're clearly not in a position where their platform itself needs the funding. So they can throw
Yeah, but like stake,
whatever they want out. And then
stake
from
is a
that point,
gambling platform, so it's
right,
just they've got money flowing through all the fucking
that's what I'm
time
saying.
anyway.
That's right.
So
So that's where they're using Kick to get their boost up.
yeah,
But then you look at it, like I said, they say 95-5. That's great. But you talk to a partner and all they say is, "Oh yeah, we offer 95-5." They can't tell you shit about the platform. Like
Hmm.
who's in charge? Like what's the communication like? What's the community like? I asked the question. I said, "Hey, what can you tell me about the platform? Like why Kick? Like why should I come to Kick?" And he's like, he holds up this card that says, "This is Twitch payout. This is our payout." It's like, okay, but I'm not in it for the money.
Cool.
What's with the platform? You
Yeah.
know, I then go and
See,
look at
and
another bloke, and he's like,
that's the
"Oh,
other fucking
yeah,
problem.
it's this." And then they release their pathway to affiliate, 75 follows and 5 streaming hours. It's like, huh?
5 streaming hours.
It's like 5 hours streaming and 75 follows. It's like, but
You could get
why would
that in
you
a 5 hour
restrict
stream.
such a stupid? But why would you restrict that so stupidly when you've literally got like,
Because
it's just again, it's another site that's come out with
there'd be
just
something in the
bullshit going on
background.
there.
There'd be something in the background that benefits the platform by having
Mm.
more people taking monetization. There'd be something there.
Well, obviously,
There'd have to be. But
but
there was a
at the end of the
platform
day, it's
not
just
too long
crazy.
back. I can't remember who it was, but they were offering like 80% streamer cut or something ridiculous.
Was that Brian?
Uh,
Wasn't
no, it
Brian
wasn't
doing
Brian. No, no,
some
no.
shit like that? Didn't they say
It
something like
was just recently too. I wish I
that?
could
Oh,
remember the name. See, that's the problem with having so many pop up and just disappear so quickly.
that's right.
Uh,
We don't have Mixer and
all
Twitch
right.
anymore. We got
So,
Mixer, Twitch, Facebook,
but
YouTube,
the
Live
biggest
Space.
problem.
Is it
No,
Live
that wasn't
Space?
it. The biggest problem, right, and it's even affecting Glimesh, right,
I'm not
is
sure, Flo.
that the streamer cut is too much,
Mm-hmm.
right? If
When
the
you take in
instead of
infrastructure, yeah.
instead of bending over backwards and appeasing people at a whim, you know,
Mm-hmm.
stick to your guns, right? And this is what I've said for a long time. It was so the streamer cut should have
Be true
stayed
to yourself.
50-50. It would have been better for the platform. Yes, it wouldn't have attracted as many people to the platform, but it would have been better in the long run financially
Hmm.
uh, to help get things going later on down the road.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
the whole RTMP thing. Like I honestly think that Glimesh should have been right. We offer FTL, full stop. That's it. Like
Yeah.
that's where that sentence should have ended, and that's where it should have stayed. By implementing RTMP, all Glimesh has done is appease the people who wanted to restream, who don't
And they
care
weren't
about
actually going to
platforms.
generically support. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, agree.
they're not
That's a
looking
fair
for a
statement.
home.
Yeah.
They're just looking to stream. They don't care
Yeah, they're
where.
just
They can
looking for
stream to
another
6
arm on
different
their tree.
platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all they were looking for, and that's what we gave them.
Yeah.
And you look at most of the people who are streaming on the platform now; they're restreamers. You
Yeah.
know,
There's no one like, well, I
most
mean,
of the
there's still
people
a
who are
few, but I
streaming
mean,
everywhere are
generically,
restreamers. You
yeah,
know,
that's right.
because they think
They're just
that,
trying to
oh,
get it out to
if I'm
masses.
everywhere at once, I get, you know, I
More.
get to touch more floor space, so I get noticed
Yeah.
better. It's like
Yeah.
maybe, but the people who are doing
Look,
it literally have their friends watching them on all of those platforms. So it's like, well, your little group hasn't expanded; it's just spread out more.
yeah, you just
You
got
know,
you just
that
got your,
doesn't make any
your click
sense.
mentality spread across multiple areas. Yeah. And I mean, to some degrees, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Paco says, RTMP, because of like there are options, but again, look at timeframes. RTMP out within the first 18 months, just a little too soon. I think it just needed to be a little bit more direct
Yeah,
for a little bit longer and then look at the options because we all knew FTL was going to be deprecated by OBS. So there was already going to be a transition anyway, and how that was to roll out, how that was to expand, or whatever the case may be. Awesome work with, don't get me wrong, Glimesh did awesome work with the RTMP and getting that latency down to almost next to nothing. So that's fantastic work. But I think that was just brought in just too soon. I think it just needed to be kept back in the back scenes while things were just rejuggled. I think allowing people to restream is a fantastic idea. It really is, especially new people, because it gives them a chance to go and see where things sit and lie.
mm,
But I think when you look at options, when you look, as much as we hate it and completely just do not like it, the exclusivity contracts that Twitch and YouTube and all that get for their partners, I think that makes a lot of sense because it pushes them to have to focus and have to build that area. By allowing restreaming, it just allows the average Joe to get on and just stream everywhere. And oh, I don't care. I'll just hit a button and I stream. There's a saying that has bounced between you and I a fair bit, Speed, and comes from you.
mm,
Anybody can stream. Not everybody should.
yes. And I'm
And
gonna get
we
that
see a
shit on
lot
a
of the ones
fucking
who
t-shirt. I
shouldn't.
swear to God.
But a lot of those guys that we see that shouldn't are the ones who are just going 5, 6, 7, 8 platforms. They're just going as soon as a new platform opens up, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there, and they just keep adding it. And
Yeah,
it's very hard to know where to support
yeah.
that
I
person. I
think,
mean, SideNote could easily go to 6 platforms and be like, hey, follow us everywhere. But again, at what point do you
yeah,
guys follow us and go, well, where do I go? So
yeah,
again, by directing it just a little bit more focused,
yeah,
it gives you the creator, or even in this case, SideNote, the better opportunity to maximize your growth because you're only focusing one area. You can promote that one area, you
yeah,
can get the direction in that area, and then push on from there. So I think
yeah,
as much as RTMP was good in, yes, the theory is great, 100%. Do not disagree. RTMP on Glimesh, fantastic. Too soon? Yes, way too soon.
yeah.
Needed to be at
I'd like,
least another 6 to 8 months
and
before it even
uh,
looked at launching.
I absolutely agree. And I will just say this is just my opinion, all right? As harsh as it may be, this is just my personal opinion as me, an outsider looking in, right?
Yeah,
It was implemented way too soon. I think you know FGL should have run its course, essentially, until like it couldn't run its course anymore.
Mm.
because by implementing RTMP so early, you know, you you knock that that exclusivity off the table.
Yeah, it
You
was
knock
kind of
that
like a
growth
feature,
off
wasn't
the
it? It was
table
like, yeah.
because by not having people dedicate to a singular platform, you don't
Well,
get the growth that
here's an
comes with it.
idea. Would it have been better, do you think, to maybe when RTMP launched with such low latency that they just shut the FTL off?
Well, we'd still end up with the same problem.
Right, but again, it's
because
at
of
least it's
restreaming.
not a
Uh, I'm not
yeah.
saying FTL is the be all and end all. It's not. I mean, it's getting deprecated. Let's be honest. WebRTC is the future. We all are fully aware of that.
Well, we've been using it for
Um,
years, haven't we?
yeah, but just having that door there for people to just walk in and out of whenever they please just has hurt the platform. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's done more damage than it has done good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's I mean that's
because
yeah, again,
like
that's a fair
you
point.
wanted people to grow with the platform, right? And by only having FTL, you could have managed that. Like, yeah, there were people having problems with FTL, but most of the bugs with FTL were ironed out before RTMP was implemented. So it wasn't a major problem at that stage.
I
So
think so. Just butting in there, I want to grab this comment just quickly. But to severely limit people completely goes against literally everything the platform is for. Agreed. I do agree. But a platform needs its own DNA.
yeah,
There was no purpose or sense within that period of time to make that happen. I mean, yes, it
yeah,
could have happened, 100%, but it needed to just be a little bit later. I think it still needed to hold its own DNA for a little while just to get the people saying, oh,
mm,
well, hang on, it is all lined out. Things are working. That's that's where I want to
yeah.
push, because that
You know,
gives me a better interaction. And that was the first
like,
thing people said is, oh, I've got better interactions over there. Then
mm,
RTMP come out and they're like, oh, well, okay.
well, now I don't have to stream
Then
over
just
there. I can
kind of
go back to where I was at
that's right.
and
Yeah, I
just
can go back to
restream it.
Twitch and I can just restream
Yeah,
to Glimesh. Yeah,
it
it's exactly
was
right. Yeah.
it's more the getting people to support the platform because I don't think it's there. If you've got people
Mm.
elsewhere, you know, sort of tapping into the platform, they don't really care about the platform. They just care about their own stream.
Yeah.
By having that singular protocol, people would have been dedicated to the platform and they would have supported the platform that they were streaming on.
Yeah.
It just goes hand in hand. Like I and again, another personal opinion. I think that Glimesh went from a stage where uh, it was right. We're going to do things our way and implement things our way. To we're just going to make everyone happy,
Mm.
and that just
Yeah,
so it was
I
like,
kind of
okay, we're going
in
down
that.
this
Yeah.
semi-structured path, and now everyone can do whatever they want,
Mm.
and just it caused chaos. It's yeah,
It
like
was
putting
like the
sand through a
glass was being
sieve.
full, and then all of a sudden it was trying to pour that glass into a pool. It was just like, oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I see the points, and
yeah,
again, it's not don't take this as an attack at Glimesh because it's not. It's just these are
yeah,
our views of what we see and how it might have just tweaked a little different had it stayed
yeah.
true to its baseline DNA. I think that's what the
Oh,
point is. Yeah.
but like Parker, but by no means am I attacking the platform. Okay, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not attacking the platform. I've never hated the platform ever. Right? But just this is take it as constructive
But
criticism, if
like
you like.
again,
Uh,
I like this comment here, like changing from SVG to PNG. Yeah, again, that's because people scream blue murder if they can't use a PNG. And SVG is actually smaller, saves space, and is actually better quality.
Hmm.
So again,
Right.
like, oh, if I make enough noise, they'll change to PNG rather than being true to their SVG. Like, I don't see
Yeah.
with how easy it is to convert PNG to SVG, I don't see there was a point, but I do see the point. But that's because again, you've got to, as a streamer, you've got to go very open minded and say, oh, so what does this platform offer me? Like if I go, oh, what's this Twitch? I've never heard of Twitch. What does it offer me? You go over there and you look around. Oh, they offer this and this and this. Okay, well, I'll set my stuff up for this,
Hmm.
this, and this. I think by just allowing the instant move around, it just didn't stick true to its DNA because people kind of went, haha, see, 10 people made enough noise and look, we got PNGs now. I don't have
But
to go
yeah,
through and convert all my stuff because I can
and
just click the button and just upload it. It's easier, It's
this is
again,
along the
it's
same lines as RTMP.
yeah,
It's like enough
yeah.
people made enough noise,
I
and it
can't
looked
restream. When are you
right
going to give us
from
restream
from an
options?
outside perspective. All it looks
Yeah.
like that's happening is that we're just bending over backwards, just being like, okay, we'll give you what you want, and
Hmm.
it works to a degree, all right,
Yeah.
and and I'm not going to attack you, punk, like, but saying stuff like, you're looking at it the wrong way. That's not the way we were doing it. It's like that that's probably true, but that's not how people are looking at it, you know.
Yeah.
And
I think for for a lot of things is feedback would have been better to look at an overall feedback and say, okay,
mm,
30% want SEG, 70% say keep, want this. That's our
yeah,
better option rather than just going, oh, there's a bit of
and,
noise. Let's just,
but like, but
appease
on
that and push that out.
like
It's better,
this expands far more than this. But like, and it's fine to consider something if an overwhelming majority of the community asks for it. That's fine.
Hmm.
Consider it. Consider a way. But
But
where do you draw the
hold on.
line in the sand
And,
on how far you take that?
but can I jump in there first, though? Because I want to ask this question, especially for Paco directly. I would love to see the proof that the overwhelming majority were actually people supporting Glimesh wholly, not just wanting it because they wanted to restream to it.
Just for their options.
You cannot. I've done management. I've been in businesses, and I've done this stuff before. You can't build a business based around what everyone else wants. You have to build small and grow big because if you start big, you'll die out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The
I
problem
mean,
being is when there's, say, 15, 20 people, 30 people, 50 people that are supporting your business, and there's 300,000 that aren't, and those 300,000 are telling you, hey, you need to do this, they're not actually there to support you. You've got to look to
but
the ones who are actually,
regardless of
there
that,
around your casings.
regardless of the supporting community or whatever, as a business, you need to know where to draw the line.
Mm,
Because you need to
mm,
make decisions based on the
yeah.
business, not what everyone else
Mhm,
wants. If you just to do what
yeah.
everyone wants you to do, you're just a welcome mat.
Now,
People are just gonna walk all over you all day.
SVG is coming back. Doesn't that then just roll
Well,
back
then
on
why
what
get
was
rid of it
already
in the first
changed to
place?
roll forward? Isn't it just a flip flop? I mean, running both is now going to be a problem, or shouldn't it have been the other way around? Yeah.
All right.
But
So, all
again,
right.
no one's
The
criticizing the RTMP.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's the thing.
All right. So, streamer cut, prime example, right? Everyone. It was during that phase where everyone was jumping up and down, and everyone was like, "Oh,
It was big.
streamer cut's bullshit. I should
Twitch
be
was ripping
getting
as
like
well.
70-30 and 80-20 because I put
Was
in
it?
all this work. You should be paying me." But they didn't understand the fundamentals behind actually running a platform and how much expenses that takes to
But
run said
they
platform.
also went.
But
They also
But
didn't
on
look
the,
at how the 50-50 was actually split.
yes, uh,
If
but
it's a true split, then it's fine. But the way it
which
was
it
done with
was,
Twitch, it was wrong. Yeah, which
yes,
was wrong with Twitch
uh,
by doing what they did,
and
not disclosing.
and the whole 60-40 split again, outside perspective, it just looks like Glimesh bent over backwards and appeased the masses.
Yeah,
That's
I would have
that's what it
I would
looks
have been
like.
happy
I'm
to go
not
the other way.
that there was
Like,
probably a
I would
totally
have been happy
different
for a
thought
40-60
process
split.
going on the management side of things. Not saying that there wasn't, but from an outside
But on the
perspective, like
front,
all
yeah,
these little
on the front.
things, SVG, getting rid of that, putting in PNGs, a 50-50 split going to 60-40, having FTL, and then be like, oh, here's RTMP, it's like all these little things just seem like it's just trying to appease everyone and make
Yeah,
everyone happy.
platforms
You're
can't
not
do
going
it.
to make everyone
They
happy.
can't do it. No, never, never. But we kind of got a little bit sidetracked there, and we kind of did
and
go
and
a
that's the other
little
thing
bit way to it.
that's the other thing that has caused issues, Paco, is the bi-weekly payouts. It,
Yeah, I
it
wonder how
just
much of that negative Twitter stuff around
because
that was because they didn't understand how the bi-weekly worked.
because the
Yeah.
numbers that show up for the streamer are so like they're worked out bi-weekly, but it doesn't.
We figured that out. Yeah, we
Yeah, but
sat down and worked that
it
out.
doesn't make
It
sense.
creates a lot of confusion. It creates a lot of confusion.
Because
Yeah.
the numbers add up, right? Yes, eventually the numbers do add up. But looking at it as a streamer, you look at it and you're like, I have no fucking idea why all these numbers are different. Like it's not like, oh, I
I
can
mean,
work out I got 6 subs that month.
so
It's like, no, you look at
so
it and you're
here's
like, huh?
yeah.
Like,
Here's the problem. Look, I agree with this comment. Our dashboard needs to be taken back, beaten, and rebuilt. I do agree with that statement, but it needs clarity. It needs a clear outline as to what you are seeing in that list.
yeah,
What you are getting is not necessarily because, if I get one sub, it's $6, $7, whatever it is, blah blah blah. That's great. And then I go in and look at it and go, why is it showing $3 here and $3 here? And then, it creates that instant
yeah. I'm
confusion.
getting
And I
like
think
I'm
we
getting
have
like two
seen
dollars
we
eighty
have
this
seen
payment, then $2.80 that payment, and then like 20 cents that payment. What?
it has seen a lot of confusion. And I think that's the negativity that we've seen along the Reddit and the Twitter about payments. Now, unfortunately, the second that becomes vocal about money, that's a problem. I mean, we saw it with Twitch and it was a big problem. A second, a smaller site starts to have potential money issues, you
Yeah.
kind of signed off on your own death warrant
Like,
there. I mean, that's
all right.
pretty much what it is because you're kind of saying, "Hey, look, yeah, we're doing it, and it's great. The innovation was fantastic." Again, it just left a lot of confusion and a big black
Yeah.
hole there
And
to not be very clear about what it's doing. Yeah,
yeah. And this is where I honestly think that 50-50 should have stayed in place. That should
yeah,
have been it. It should have been locked in 50-50
yeah.
with a very good explanation as to why it was staying
Well,
50-50.
but I mean, not only that, when you show people the 50-50 breakdown, you show them exactly where the funds were going.
Yeah.
They went, oh, well, yeah, I'm happy with that because I'm not paying this, I'm not paying that, and I can see where they're putting the money. So that showed difference. When you talk a Twitch 50-50, it more worked out like
Yeah, you
Twitch,
get like
30-70 after all the
you're
crap
getting
comes out of
like
your own payment. So
I
again,
mean, yeah.
Glimesh had already capitalized on that process. They'd already made that jump and made that stick by putting out that graph and just showing it and saying, hey, we take $1 for servers, we take 50 cents for this, we take that. You get $3 or
Yeah.
$2.50, whatever it was originally. You get that. That's yours.
Yeah.
250 is your money. That's it.
But like
So I think that was
out of
already
that
capitalized on, and they could have used that as a marketing tool.
platform cut though, how much of that was dedicated to improving the platform?
Well, that was what the platform cut was. That out of that, I mean, that just
Yeah,
goes
no,
to
it was more sustainability. that's what the platform
But
comes.
that's what
It
you really
wasn't.
want though, is
It
sustainability. You're
wasn't. It
not
wasn't like, oh, a percentage of the cut is going towards future projects, or just like enhance, like going to better the platform itself.
because I
Like,
think okay, I think you're skewing that a little bit there. You're going from a channel sub supporting a streamer to say a platform sub that would support the platform. So like the 5 and 25. I think that would be more of a generic towards the future
yeah,
where
but
the
not
streamer
everyone.
side
All right.
just needed to stay as the same. Does that make
No,
sense?
I don't think so. Because not everyone was using the platform subs anyway.
No, no, no. But what I'm
So
saying is, out of a channel sub, you would only expect a breakdown of what the sub gets and what the platform gets. But
yeah,
the
yeah,
actual golden names, like we see Memory League's got the gold name, that kind of sub to the platform would go back to the platform. So
yeah, yeah. I
again,
get
separating
that.
those two, that's the way I would see it.
Yeah, yeah. To
And
me,
like
that's
Paco
just
saying, saying there, it's
too
all just
unstable of a
that's Glimesh
decision to
money.
make.
I don't know, but I mean, whether you split, well, that's like saying,
Well,
okay, what are you spending yours on? What's your $2.50 going to? Is that going to your? Are you spending that on the milk, the bread, or whatever? That's again, it's just your money. It just goes to wherever it's needed at that
yeah,
time. So
I
again,
get that.
you can't
But
break it down and
when
say,
you
oh
didn't
yeah, 1
have
percent of
that
this
many people using the platform subs,
doesn't matter.
you need to
You
get
can't,
that money from somewhere, right?
but you can't. No, but I mean, well, again, yes and no. But at the end of the day, it's a breakdown between two parties. You wouldn't advertise where you're spending your $2.50 and how you're breaking it down. And Glimesh is basically saying, this is our money. This is where we're putting it. That's your money. And move on. So I'm not expecting a breakdown of
Mm.
how much is going to the future projects and stuff like that. I mean, it's Glimesh money at the end of the day, and that's what it is. But yeah, we kind of got a little bit sidetracked
Sorry, it's
on
the
focus point there, but
it's the
it is it
23
is what
years of
happens, and this is
retail
what the show.
experience coming into
But
it.
this is what the show is all
Um,
about. We do go into those little tangents, but at the end of the day, like we said, it's about sticking to your DNA.
yeah,
Go back and look at your DNA. What is your DNA? What do you want your DNA to be? What do you want people to see from that basis? Whether it's Glimesh, whether it's Trovo, whether it's whatever, no one platform is going to fill that space, and no one
no,
platform is ever going to get it right. It's not going to happen. Period. It's not going to happen.
you need to
But
learn and evolve
yeah, it needs to
as
be
the
an
process
evolution.
goes. Yeah.
Value what
Um,
you have. Value, even if it's 15 people, value those 15 people above the
yeah.
people who aren't necessarily doing what's
But
good for you.
from a business standpoint, right? Yes, a good portion of your business can evolve and grow and change. I mean, trust me, I see it in my job. Like, things change, and I'm like, why? It was working,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they just change it to freshen shit up. But there are certain things in the core that are core. They do not change. Like, that is it. That is solid, concreted in. That does not change. And I think
Yeah.
that's what a lot of platforms need. They need that thing in the core that they just stick to and do not change.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
think,
Totally agree.
if Glimesh just stuck to FTL, that would have been the core thing that they didn't change. That would have helped in the long run. That personal opinion. But other platforms need to do the same thing. They need that group of things that are just fundamental, and we're like, right, this, as you put it, Lord, this is our DNA. This is what
Yeah.
we're putting on the table. This will never change, regardless. And then everything outside
Yeah.
of that can change willy nilly. You can add stuff, take stuff,
But I mean, you're always gonna,
change stuff around.
you're always gonna add features. I mean, if you're streaming platform, you're
Yeah,
always gonna add in things like rating and
look
like
at Twitch. They're
co-streaming
just,
and you know,
Twitch is just
things like
pumping
that. You're
features
always gonna
out
have
like
these little
no tomorrow
little
at the moment.
features, but at the end of the day, like you said, that core is still its core.
Yeah.
those features have to work with the core, otherwise they just don't work at all. And again, value what you have. If you've only got 10 people that are actually dedicated to working with you, or you've got a like a SideNote that's working and wants to work with you, value it, use it,
Mm,
try
yeah.
and encourage it, because that's where you'll build and show the
And
connection, and then people will be more excited to do it.
the other thing, which I spoke about with you already, um, was that it's all right to have hundreds of people in the background,
Hmm.
talking about the direction of where the platform should go and give helpful insights and give feature ideas and all that. Like that, yes, that is absolutely fundamental, and that does do a good thing. But
Hmm.
if you don't have streamers on the platform who are willing to dedicate their time and help get that moving,
Well, yeah.
you've got a one-sided story at that stage. You've got
Well, take a look at
everyone jumping up and
take a look
down
at
in the
Kick.
background, and you've got no one on the front line actually showing its worth.
Well, take a look at Kick, for example. You got Sponge. Sponge is probably the biggest name across Twitter right now with Kick. Every Kick related tweet, he's on it. Again, you got to maximize that kind of exposure. You've got to push that out. You've got to
Mm,
maximize it. And I think
yeah,
that's probably one thing that a few new platforms could definitely take from and say, Laura, we got a couple of guys or a couple of people, a couple of streamers that are just pushing the absolute daylights out of it. We need to ride that wave. You need to get on and ride that wave. Whether it's
but you,
something you pick up now and do and you start running with it, whether it's something you launch with or whatever the case may be. I think if you're going to make a wave, you've got to ride the wave. You can't just jump in the
yeah,
pool and then just let the wave fizzle out, because you
yeah.
you lose too much out of the
You,
game
you
then.
need you need people on the front line to help direct the flow,
Yeah.
because without those people on
Mm-hmm.
the front line,
Hundred
everything
percent.
just falls apart. Again, the analogy I used before, it's like having protesters but no government. It's like you can have protesters
I
as much as you like
was waiting
without the
to bring that
government in,
into the.
but without the government in place,
No one's
the
listening.
pro
Yeah,
the protests mean nothing. So
that's right.
you need those people there to show off
Yeah,
the platform in question and show its worth. You know, that's how you get people in. You don't get people in and be like, oh, come to our Discord and discuss everything. That doesn't help the platform. That just helps the back end. You need
yeah,
to help the platform, and that's where the streamers come into it. So it's a
and
hard ask to get people to commit to that as well.
mm-hmm.
So if you can get onto a train where you can get people committing to streaming on said platform and actually get that momentum going, you're heading down the right track.
Yeah, momentum, ride the wave. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, we've been going for an hour now. That we had really short term this stream. We were only going
I,
to do about a half
I,
hour stream and just
I
make the
honestly
announcement,
didn't
but
care how long today's show went for, to be fair.
but no, look, I mean, look, this probably isn't the end for SideNote on Glimesh. It's just right now we're just going to go and focus on the YouTube and step that sideline for a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but there's a good chance we could be back in the future with some more. But no, this was never a generic attack at Glimesh. We're not
No,
about that kind of business. We're not definitely
no.
about doing that kind of
I
stuff.
mean,
We've had
if
Trovo
if if
specials where we've
anyone
highlighted things, and it's
if
more of a
anyone
highlight
knows
reel, if you would.
us, right? If anyone knows us, we are extremely opinionated people. We will tell it how it is, how we think it is. It by no means are we attacking or anything like that. It's just our
No,
very
we
strong opinions.
we both have we both have a lot of love for Glimesh. Um, and it may come across as quite the opposite, but we both have a lot of love, which is why the show
Yeah,
was put on Glimesh. It's why it was here. It's just right now it's we just like I said, we just need to focus on streamlining a little bit and just maybe diverting away just to give it a bit of a chance. But like I said,
Yeah.
for me personally, I'm pretty much on hiatus. You may see me here, you may not.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean, my my streaming here has been rather sporadic, but that's a me issue at the moment. Uh, I'm here and there. I don't know. I'm contemplating my future here. Uh, I I'm as I said before the show, I have unintentionally stained the waters that I'm standing in. So you know, I I don't know. I may move elsewhere. I may stay here. It's all up in the air at this stage. But anyway, for the show, YouTube. So
so I'll give you that link just one
yeah,
more time. Um, obviously, we haven't changed the bot, so the Glimesh channel's still there. Look, I mean, we'll still keep the Glimesh channel. Obviously, we're not going to delete the channel. We're not going to go down that pathway, but we just won't be live on the channel for the foreseeable future. But there's the Gilded. Again, if you guys have got Gilded, come and join us there. We are moving to Gilded. It will be a transitional period while we get the Discord and things just moved over there. Once that's done, Discord will be
I think we'll try and do
sent
that.
to the Oblivion.
I think we'll try and do that sooner rather than later. Everything's pretty much set up now, so we should.
Gilded's pretty much where we're going to be.
Yeah,
It's so much easier to use. It gives us what we're looking for. Again,
and
what we're
it doesn't
looking
break
for, Gilded
anywhere near
offers
as.
it from it gives
Yeah,
it to us
and
in
then
bucket
some.
loads. So
Yeah.
thank you, Gilded.
Ah, yeah.
Um,
And it doesn't break
and then
anywhere
also the
near as much
Twitter.
as Discord does. So
No, it really
there's
doesn't.
that.
It really
Yeah.
doesn't. But yeah, give us a follow on the Twitter. Hit us up there. Don't forget you can DM us as well on that account. So if you've got some ideas or you want to join us on the show, please feel free to do that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, the YouTube's there, so that's where we'll be. And then, feel free to join out Gilded. Love to have you guys there and come on the show. I know I've had Memory Leak in the chat today, and I know he's been on the show as well, explaining some of the features that he's been doing in the back scenes for Glimesh and stuff like that. So we might have to try and catch him again in the not too distant future and find out what he's up to. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap us up from the Glimesh side of things. That's going to wrap up today, and that's going to wrap up today's show as well in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, be sure to tune in on those socials and check out where we're going, what we're doing, and how things are tracking along. And look, hopefully we get to see you guys pretty soon, and even better, chat to you guys on the stream. So
We'll get to see how bad that YouTube delay is.
But yeah, for me personally, thank you for tuning in today, and I know from Speed it'll be very much the same, and we appreciate the backwards and forwards. But yeah,
just remember, guys, it's not the end.
any final thoughts, Speed?
It's not over. SideNote is not over. This will be
Absolutely not.
It is long from being finished. It's just we're just taking a different route. That's all. So no,
We still love you all equally.
yeah. No, I think the show's done really well here on Glimesh. But yeah, it has come to a time where we need to streamline everything and possibly look at a different direction for the show in regard to platform. Just see how it goes. I mean, we'll figure it out. But it's been good, and I appreciate all you guys that have been on the show and chatting as well. It's what's made the show. It's made what's made half the show really, because we'd much rather be chatting with you guys about the problems that you're seeing wherever or whatever it is that you guys want to discuss about, rather than having both of us old bags just sitting here, just gas bagging for an hour and a half. But it's been good.
Yeah. No, we appreciate everybody, and yeah. So 2 weeks time, we'll be over there on the tubes. So please make the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out. But
hopefully we don't have any technical issues. Yes, it will. Probably quicker than usual. One, because it's a shorter show, and two, because I've got the hardware to support the damn thing now. No,
But yeah, look,
yeah.
thank you everybody
Anyway,
for your time here with us over on Glimesh, and we hope to see you guys on the YouTube. So from us here at SideNote, it's thank you, and we'll see you next time.
bye
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.